All right, you guys, I actually wanted to look into this crash after seeing it on Besiege of the two Boeing 747s colliding on the runway. And that's what we're going to watch today. And this is by the Flight Channel. So this was all put together by the Flight Channel. I suggest you guys go check them out. But this video is not satire. This is based off of a real crash, real tragedy, real bad situation, man. Oh my gosh, bro. Three hours earlier. Okay. So Pan Am was over the Atlantic Ocean. Boeing 741 was flying from the United States towards Gran Canaria, an island located on the Atlantic Ocean off the southwest coast of Morocco. Okay. Gran Canaria is am I saying that? Canaria is the third largest and second most populated island in the Canary Islands and autonomous community of Spain. It is very popular among tourists. Okay. The aircraft operating as Pan Am Flight 1736 originated in Los Angeles, California, and made an intermediate stop at New York's JFK Airport. Of the 380 passengers, mostly of retirement age, but including 2 children, 14 had boarded in New York, where the crew was also changed. All but 5 passengers on board the Boeing 747 are Americans. The non-American passengers are all Canadian nationals. So basically, a lot of these people have money, bro. A lot of them are retired. The particular aircraft operated in the inaugural 747 commercial flight on January 22nd, 1970. The aircraft was also the first 747 to be delivered to an airline. Wow. Gran Canaria Islands. In command of the flight is 56-year-old Captain Victor Grubbs, a very experienced pilot with 21,000 hours of flight time logged. Despite having logged an incredible amount of hours in the sky, Captain Grubbs has accumulated just 564 hours on Boeing 747s. Okay, so he's still new to the... All right. The co-pilot is 39-year-old First Officer Robert Bragg, who has accumulated 10,800 hours, of which 2,796 are on the 747. The flight engineer is 46-year-old George Warrens, who has 15,000 flight hours, of which 559 hours are on the 747. In total, there are 396 people on board Pan Am Flight 1736. That is a ton of people. Miles away, another Boeing 747 passenger aircraft is flying towards Gran Canaria Airport, the same destination of Pan Am. The aircraft is operating a charter flight for Holland International Travel Group and has originated in Amsterdam Airport. The aircraft operating as KLM Flight 4805 is a Boeing 747-206B registered as PHBUF and named Rehan. There are 14 crew members, 235 passengers, including 52 children. Oh my gosh, bro. 52 children on board the flight. Most of the KLM passengers are Dutch. Also on board are 4 Germans, 2 Austrians, and 2 Americans. Oh my gosh. In command of Flight 4805 is 50-year-old Captain Jacob Veldhuizen. He is a very experienced pilot, 11,000 flight hours logged, 1,500 on the 747. He is also KLM Chief Flight Instructor. Wow. He looks sharp, too. He does look like a sharp pilot. Oh my gosh, man. The co-pilot is 42-year-old First Officer Klaas Meers, who has 92 hours of flight, which is 95 hours on the 747. The flight engineer, 48-year-old William Schroeder, the most experienced flight crew member. He has logged 17,000 flight hours, of which 543 hours on the 747. Both flights are uneventful until they approach the Canary Islands. About 1 o'clock local time, a bomb planted by... What? A bomb explodes in the Gran Canaria Airport, injuring 8 people. There had been a phone call warning of the bomb, which had been misunderstood as 2 bombs. Bro, what? The civil aviation authorities therefore closed the airport temporarily after the explosion. Oh my gosh, no way. As a result, all incoming flights bound for Gran Canaria are diverted to Los Rodeos Airport on the nearby island of Tenerife. Because the Pan Am Boeing 747 has enough fuel to safely stay in the air for 2 more hours, its crew requests to circle in a holding pattern until the airport reopens. However, the request is denied and the flight is ordered to divert. Oh my gosh, bro. This is so eerie. Several minutes later, the KLM Boeing 747 safely lands at Los Rodeos Airport. So the Boeing 747 safely lands at that new airport that they had to get diverted to. Pan Am Flight 1736 lands at the airport shortly thereafter. Everything is fine. Los Rodeos is a regional airport that cannot easily accommodate all of the traffic diverted from Gran Canaria, which includes 5 large airliners. Yeah, if it's a small airport, the airport only has 1 runway, 1 major taxiway running parallel to it with 4 short taxiways connecting. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh. While waiting for Gran Canaria Airport to reopen, the diverted planes take up so much space that they have to park on the long taxiway. This is so terrible, bro. This makes it unavailable for the purpose of taxiing. Oh my gosh. Instead, departing aircraft need to taxi along the runway, known as the back taxi or backtrack. Oh my gosh, no! After landing, the captain of KLM 4805, which in the meantime has parked aircraft on the taxiway, asks the air traffic controller if he can disembark the passengers. Air traffic controller grants his request and all 235 passengers transported to the airport terminal. Man, you can tell this pilot cares about the people on board, man. Moments later, the Pan Am captain asked for the same things. However, since the terminal is already full, his request is denied. Wow. Dude. A few hours later, once the bomb threat is contained, the authorities reopen Gran Canaria Airport. Because all 380 passengers remained aboard, the Pan Am 747 is immediately ready to depart from Tenerife. However, the plane cannot use taxiway behind it to get to the runway because it is congested by other aircraft. So this is where things are probably going to get dicey, man. This means Pan Am crew has to backtrack on the runway 12 for takeoff on runway 30. So you go down the runway you're going to be taking off on. However, it's obstructed by the KLM plane and a refueling vehicle. Oh wow, so they fully refueled. Okay, this way the turnaround time at Gran Canaria will be shorter and he'll be able to take off for the return leg to Amsterdam sooner. Okay, so he fully refueled, but this is gonna cause problems because it's congesting everything else, right? The Pan Am aircraft is limited to maneuver around the refueling KLM in order to reach the runway for takeoff. So they're basically just waiting on the KLM flight. That's because there's a lack of safe clearance between the two planes, which is just, wow, 12 feet. What the heck? The refueling of KLM takes 35 minutes. Afterwards, all passengers are brought back to the aircraft. The search for a Dutch passenger who does not return to the waiting. Wow. What? Robina von tour guide chose not to reboard for the flight at Gran Canaria because she lives into. Oh my gosh, bro. So she survived. She thought it'd be impractical to fly to Gran Canaria only to return to Tenerife the next day. So she just stayed there. Oh my gosh. Therefore, she chooses not to reboard the 747, leaving 234 passengers on board. After several minutes, dude, this is getting so eerie. KLM flight 4805 is finally ready to depart. The tower instructs the KLM plane to taxi down the entire length of the runway and then make a 180-degree turn to get into takeoff position. This is where it all goes wrong, bro. As the plane back taxis on the runway, air traffic controller asks the pilots to report when they are ready to copy the ATC clearance. Because the pilots are performing the checklist at the moment, they do not copy the clearance. Three minutes later, Pan Am 747 is cleared to follow the KLM. No. As soon as the Pan Am crew enters the runway, they find themselves in port rapidly. So meanwhile, as the KLM plane taxis to the end of the runway, it is still in good visibility, but with clouds blowing down the runway towards it. The KLM plane completes its 180 degrees turn in relatively clear weather and lines up on runway 30. The next cloud is 900 meters down the runway and is moving towards the aircraft at about 12 knots. The Pan Am B-4747 is instructed to exit the runway by taxiing the third exit on the left and then use the parallel taxiway. Guys, this is terrible. Initially, the crew is unclear as to whether the controller has told them to take the first or third exit. This is where everybody should have stopped, bro. The crew asks for clarification, and the controller responds empathetically by replying, "The third one, sir. 1, 2, 3. Third one." The crew begins to taxi and proceeds to identify the unmarked taxiways using an airport diagram as they reach them. The pilot successfully identifies the first two taxiways, C1, C2, but failed to see the third taxiway, C3, which had been instructed to use. As a matter of fact, the angle of the third taxiway would require the plane to perform a 148-degree turn, which would lead it back toward the crowded main apron. At the end, C3, the Pan Am crew would have to make another 148-degree turn in order to continue taxiing towards the start of the runway. Taxiway C4, on the other hand, would require just a 34-degree turn, so they would just go in and turn. Okay. So does this guy just ignore the rules? Immediately after lining up, the KLM captain advances the throttle and the aircraft starts to move forward. What? Why? The co-pilot statements that they don't have takeoff clearance prompts. Response, no, I know that. Go ahead, ask. What? The co-pilot then radios to the tower, ready for takeoff. The KLM crew then receives instructions that specify the route that the aircraft is to follow after takeoff. Where does it all go bad? The instructions use the word takeoff, but do not include an... No. The co-pilot reads the flight clearance back to the computer. We are now at takeoff. Oh my gosh, dude. However, the captain interrupts the co-pilot. Read back with the comment, "We're going." So they still haven't went yet, bro. They still haven't went, but the controller who cannot see the runway due to the fog initially responds with, "Okay." The controller likely responds with "okay" due to his misrepresentation that they are in takeoff position and ready to begin the roll. Oh my freaking gosh, bro. The controller then immediately adds "standby for takeoff. I will call you." Okay, so then we should be good here. This instruction indicates that he has not intended the instruction to be interpreted as a takeoff clearance. So now it's back in the pilot's ballpark. Oh my gosh. That's so scary. So this is without the fog. Simultaneously, radio call for Pan Am crew causes mutual interference on the radio frequencies. The audible KLM cockpit adds a 3-second long shrill sound. This causes the KLM crew to miss the crucial latter portion of the tower's response. We're still taxiing down the runway. The Clipper 1736. So basically they're saying like, don't go. This message also blocked by the interference, and oh my gosh, bro. Due to the fog, neither crew is able to see the other plane on the runway ahead of them. In addition, neither of the aircraft can be seen from the control tower, and the airport is not equipped with ground radar. During this time, the Pan Am crew fails to take the C3 exit. No, bro. Why? Why? Report when runway clear. So the Pan Am crew replies, "Okay, we'll report when clear." So there's still... Okay, the KLM flight engineer expresses his concern about the Pan Am not being clear of the runway. He thus asked the pilots in the cockpit, is he not clear? What? So he's the captain empathetically replies, oh yes, and continues with takeoff. No. So it was the captain's fault, bro. Moments later, Pan Am captain spots KLM's landing lights through the fog just as his plane approaches exit C4. Oh my gosh. When it became clear that the KLM is approaching at takeoff speed, the captain exclaims, oh my gosh. First officer yells, get off, get off, get off. The captain applies full power to throttles and makes a sharp left turn towards the grass. They're already moving too fast to stop, so yeah, there is no stopping. The pilots preemptively rotate the aircraft nose upward and attempt to clear the Pan Am by lifting off. Oh my gosh. The 747 is within 100 meters, 330 feet of the Pan Am when it lifts off. What? So it actually did lift off. Its nose landing gear clears the Pan Am plane, but its left side engine's lower fuselage and main landing gear strike the upper right side of the Pan Am's fuselage. Oh my gosh, dude. Cam plane ran briefly airborne before entering a stalled flight condition. So everybody on this plane is still alive right now, bro. And then nobody. Oh my gosh, dude. Both airplanes were destroyed in the collision. All 248 passengers and crew aboard the KLM plane died, and as did 335 people aboard the bro. 583 fatalities. This disaster is the deadliest accident in aviation history. The investigation concluded that the cause of the accident was that the KLM's captain attempted to take off without clearance. The investigator suggested the reason for this was a desire to leave Tenerife as soon as possible. The captain was in such a hurry because he wanted to comply with KLM's duty time regulations and before the weather. Oh my gosh. So this investigation probably went really deep. Contributing to the fog. The fog was a big factor and nobody was able to see each other. Basically, that was a big contributing factor as well, I guess. Also, interference with simultaneous radio transmissions made hearing critical message difficult. Investigators learned that the KLM captain's decisions to refuel at Tenerife added several factors. In fact, takeoff was delayed by an extra 35 minutes, allowing time for the fog to settle. Oh my gosh, bro. Also, by refueling the plane more than 45. Oh, so it might have been able to take off without that fuel. Oh my goodness, bro. Wow. I gotta say, the flight channel, that was great work by breaking that all down. That was crazy. That's tragic, man. I know you guys like to see the breakdowns of the plane crash and stuff like that. This was definitely one of the most touching ones because it just put everything into like realization. 500 plus people. That's just sad, man. But yeah, if you guys, man, I don't know if I'm going to react to any more of these. They're actually pretty sad. I kind of want to keep the vibes happy on this channel. But yeah, I was actually interested in this crash here because I was just trying to figure out how could that possibly take place? Like, how could that happen? And well, it happens when people are in a hurry, dude. But thank you guys for watching. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next video. All right. Bye.